What's up, Yins? This week on Car Dad Bill, we have a 2022 Kia Sorento SX Prestige. Now, this is the plug-in hybrid model, so you can charge it at home, you have some EV range, and then you go back to the standard hybrid vehicle. Let's go for a ride. Guys, please remember, subscribe to the video, like the video, make comments on the video. More comments, more likes, more subscribers, the more cars, the more cool stuff we can do here on Car Dad Bill. Let's get to the review. Alright guys, first impressions of the Sorento plug-in hybrid is that it's another example of the marriage between plug-in electric vehicles and hybrid gasoline and electric vehicles. You get kind of the best of both worlds with this, and we'll explain more of that later. But the first impressions are comfortable, easy to drive, great looking, and satisfies the need for 6 passengers that I need, especially. And a lot of my friends and family have also brought up that they wanted to see this car. So first impression is it's pretty cool, and let's get to the review. What's up, Yins? Standing outside the plug-in hybrid. So the big differences on the outside of this plug-in hybrid that you're going to notice. Number one, different style wheels, okay? Hybrids usually get different style wheels. There's no sunroof, and I don't know if that's just because it's not on the option list or if that's because they don't put it in the hybrid. But the other thing is this door. There's one on the other side as well, but this one hides your charging port. Pop this little guy out of there, plug it in. On the other side is the gasoline gas tank. Now, looking around back, same Sorento design that we would see on the other models that we've reviewed. Really love the upright vertical tail lights. Really like the back, how it comes straight down. It has like a waterfall effect there with the Kia badge kind of tilted forward. And let's just talk about that Kia badge. How sweet is that new Kia badge? The other thing that you're going to notice on the outside that's going to take a different path than the other ones is this little tag right here. It says Eco Plug-in. Dead giveaway that it's a plug-in hybrid vehicle. Outside of that, it's really the same as any other Sorento that you're going to see on the road, and not necessarily a whole lot worse off or better off. It just kind of blends into the pack. But I do have to say that I love this front end, and I love how it's 3D. It's got like an indent here. It comes in. You have the nice Kia badge again. Your fog lights are kind of built into the grille. And then look at these LEDs. Those LED lights are just sharp. Let's go inside, take a look at the interior. All right, guys, we are inside the Kia. Let's turn it on. Really cool gauges. Really streamlined in here. I mean, look around. It's got different materials stacked like I like to see. The gauge or the vents are absolutely unique, and it's the same thing in the other ones. Love the steering wheel design with the two-tone leather, really sharp. Love the gauge cluster and how the gauge cluster can change, and it's very, very futuristic. Just love how that works. And that's all a screen. There's nothing analog in there. And then you have this beautiful screen up here that you can swipe through things one way or the other, just like in any other Sorento that we've seen. Same with the HVAC controls, and down to the bottom here where we have our Notes for our review: we have the plug for the USB that's down there, so you can either have a charger, the CarPlay, and another just plain charger, and you also have wireless charging right here. A clever spot to put the seat controls are right there. Cooled seats, hot seats on both sides. Nice size cup holder. The rotary dial for your drive control and your parking, your gear selection. This is pretty neat, but it also has the paddle shifters up here as well. Down below, we have the eco mode, the sport mode, the smart mode, and the snow mode, and then your locking differential in the middle here. This button, and we'll go into that more when we talk, but this button switches between your different modes. So if you go up here and you hit the button, see it says automatic mode, then it says hybrid mode, then it says electric mode. So since I have some charge down there, where it says, right above where it says eco, if I get my finger in there, right there, that's my battery charge, and this is my gasoline engine. So right now, I'm in electric mode. So when I start to drive, it's going to use that mileage first, and then it's going to use this mileage. And if I switch this gauge over to show you kind of a picture of what I'm talking about, it's this. So I have 11 miles of electric driving left and 54 miles of gasoline, which combines to 65-mile general range. So that's how that works. You plug the car in, you get electric range. You don't plug the car in and it runs out of battery down here, then you're just running on the hybrid mode with the gasoline engine. If you come down here, you can actually pick which one you want to do. So it's almost like a save mode. You can save your electric charge and use the hybrid portion while you're on the highway. These are your cameras. This is parking brake, your auto hold for in traffic, your hill descent control, and then last but not least, the heated steering wheel. Nice place for the keys, little cubby here. You got your big cup or center console there. And then on this side, love this design and the texture they put on there, and how they layer all of these materials together. We have like a rubbery plastic here. We have a plastic here with a little bit of an aluminum trim there. And then we have leather wrapped up there. And it continues on the door all the way around. The seats are leather. Seats back there are pretty comfortable. In fact, let's go back there. But real quick, before we go back there, looking at the gauge right up here, you can kind of move between the different hybrid things. This will tell you what kind of drive mode you're in on the wheels. This next thing tells you the drive mode that you're in, you know, how you're driving. It tells you exactly what you're doing on there. It also tells you this is your like economical driving style. And then there's a way to see the actual power, the energy flow. And I love that screen. So right now it's saying that the engine's charging the battery. And that's just cool. And when you're driving down the road, it actually, you know, changes between the motor and the batteries and the electric motors. And if you're charging, if you're putting out energy, just a cool way to see that. And then here's your real-time fuel mileage, which is legit. 42 miles per gallon is what I'm averaging in this. But we'll talk about that in a minute. All right, so we're in the back seat. Same thing on the door. Good layering of materials. Cup holder for the kiddos. Heated seats as well for the kiddos. Now looking inside here at the seats, Anna's is strapped to the seat and it's very comfortable. She has enough room there. These seats also slide back and forth. Same thing with that seat. Down here, charging cables, charging ports, your vents, charging ports there, charging port there. Then on this side, same style doors design. And then you have the pass-through there for the bucket seats that takes you back to the third row, which is not terrible. But let's see what's behind that third row. Oh, wait. Static seat belts. They're actually kind of floppy, but since there's this little catch right here, it holds it in place. Around back, under the Sorento is a button. Under the E, pops the trunk. Let's into the back, and I wanted to show you just what size things fit back here. This is a decent size garment bag and my puck bag, my coach bag, and it's small. It's a small bag. So that, I mean, you could fit baseball bags. I had 3 baseball bags here. I had 1 standing up and then I had 2 stacked. And then, so I had the kids. I had all 4 boys and Anna in here driving to a baseball game. So it does work. So, and you can see that there's a decent amount of legroom here for kids. I mean, adults, I would have a hard time sitting back there, but it's decent for the kids. Now, to get that seat back down, one-handed operation, which is really nice. One-handed operation now gives you much more storage capacity. I could fit a hockey bag in here now with hockey sticks and this bag and whatever else I need. And if I don't need to take that many children anywhere or people, then I have this much storage room, which is triple the size of this right here. So not bad. Let's get on the road. What's up, guys? So real quick before we get on the highway, I want to go over the normal stuff that we go over, the Monroney here, just to go over some of the basic details before we actually get out on the road. 22 Sorento plug-in hybrid, SX Prestige all-wheel drive. That's pretty much the top model that you're going to get in this type of vehicle. 1.6 liter turbocharged GDI with the plug-in hybrid system gives you a combined horsepower of 261 horsepower. Not bad. Decent amount of horsepower for a vehicle this size. Comes with all-wheel drive with that center locking differential with your different mode selectors. Drive mode selectors, the sport, the eco, and the snow are really the only ones you really have to pick from. Smart can act just like an automatic mode. It kind of picks between those different things as your throttle input dictates. So what comes in this vehicle is the touchscreen, the Bose stereo system, the leather seats, the blind spot monitor, the surround view monitor when you're parking, the heated steering wheel, the heated second row. Those are all SXP all-wheel drive features, and they're all included. So then the only thing you're really paying for is the white color and the floor mats. For some reason, those are the 2 things that you're actually paying for, which brings us to an MSRP of $49,720. And the gas mileage that I was telling you about, and when I say gas mileage, I mean combined in this, because this is a plug-in hybrid, right? So we plug in the car, we get electric charge, we get electric range, then it goes to hybrid. Now me, I charge it at night when I drive somewhere to show a house or to do whatever, work on a rental. I drive on the highway for the most part, half the time, more than half the time. I switch this to hybrid drive, so I'm using the gasoline at that point majority of the time. Unless I'm charging or I'm coasting or I'm at a good speed, then the electric motor comes in and kind of helps out as well. But when I get to where I'm going, get off the exit, I usually switch it back over to automatic or electric mode, and then I use my battery charge while I'm driving around town and get that good city electric drive. But let's talk about that more when we get on the road. Let's go for a drive. All right, guys, so out on the road for my pros and cons, my good and bad. And a couple of things I want to go over with is, and we talked about it briefly in the last clip, where hybrid vehicles are, you drive them a different way. You don't necessarily drive them all the same. You don't drive it the same way you would drive your gas vehicle either, because the efficiencies available if you take advantage of it. So it's not necessarily that it's difficult to drive or like way out of the ordinary, but I suggest to my viewers, especially to you guys, when you drive a hybrid vehicle, you tailor your throttle inputs to that. So the hybrid doesn't kick in until your throttle input dictates, especially in a vehicle like this where you get that electric range after charging at your house. You get that range that's all electric. And if you step on the throttle really hard though and try to get going too fast, it kicks in the gasoline motor and propels you down the road with, it's called power. So, and that's the other thing I wanted to tell you, is this gauge cluster kind of gives you a cheat sheet on what you're doing wrong or what you're doing good and where you're at in the power band, or what the car is actually doing to react to how your throttle input is. So that's what a plug-in hybrid really does. It's the benefit of both worlds. You get electric driving and you get gasoline driving. And I think that's number one pro for me, actually, is the marriage of the technology. Being able to plug it in at home and get that electric feel, that electric power when you step on the throttle, the electric quiet, all of the mannerisms that come with an electric vehicle. But then you also get the range and the extended range of having that gasoline hybrid model you know, back on as well. Number 2 on my list of the good is the plug-in ability, the all-wheel drive capability, and the style. So it's actually a couple things in my number 2, but I combined it all together with. Number 1, the plug-in ability. You get that plug-in, you plug it in at home, you have that electric drive capability, and it makes you feel like you have an electric vehicle, kind of, if you're not ready for a full electric vehicle. The second thing was the all-wheel drive. So it's all weather capable. We can take this thing in the snow, we can take it in the rain, we can take it off-road a little bit if we need to get to a campsite or something like that. And we have that capability of also locking the differential, which makes that pretty much what someone would want to do if they were camping, if they were taking it off-road, if they were taking it somewhere not necessarily on the highway or in a city. The third thing, the style. So the style of this is just like the other Sorentos, which I find to be attractive, and a lot of people that I've talked to since I've had this, and I've had previous ones, all say that the new Sorento has a sharp design, has great lines, and looks kind of aggressive and sporty. And I think that appeals to a lot of people. And it looks compact, which is kind of a cool thing because it's a 6-passenger vehicle. It has room for people in it, but it's compact enough to look sporty, and I like that part of it. The last thing I want to talk about, as far as my good and bad takes on this, is the mileage. And it's solid mileage. You have a 6-passenger vehicle, you have a plug-in hybrid, and you know you're going to have different kind of mileages based on what you're doing and how you're driving. But the total MPG, the average that I'm getting, is 42 miles per gallon. So 42 miles per gallon with a little bit of charging at home in a 6-passenger SUV, that's crazy. That's Civic numbers. Those are little 4-cylinder numbers in a decent sized passenger vehicle. I mean, what more do you really want, right? That's why you buy this. Those are my goods. Let's get to the bads. So the bad list, and it's not like bad like I wouldn't buy the vehicle because of these things, but there's something that I want you to think about, because when you have something like this, I want your expectation to be correct. So I've driven a lot of different hybrid vehicles, electric vehicles, plug-in hybrid vehicles, extended range electric vehicles. I've driven all of them for the most part. And this one is just a little bit clunky and a little bit chunky and a little bit unrefined when we talk about switching between drive modes. It does drive well, and I know what I'm looking for, kind of. So as you get used to these type of vehicles, you'll know what to expect with your throttle input. And I just want that to be clear. It's not necessarily that the hybrid's difficult to drive or that you should expect something different, but just the nature of the beast is based on your inputs. So if you drive conservatively and you don't give it a lot of throttle all the time, you're really going to have a really pleasant experience with a hybrid plug-in hybrid vehicle. If you're really aggressive with the throttle, it's going to be chunky and bumpy, like I'm saying. I'm heavy with the throttle off start because I like to see how these vehicles react under load, how they react if you're easy on the gas, how they react in all those different situations. So I definitely do a lot of different things. But I just noticed it's something to keep in mind. It's not necessarily a horrible thing. It's just not as refined as some of the other plug-in hybrids that I've driven over the years. Now we're gonna get on the highway up here. I'm gonna slow down. It's in hybrid mode right now. It's in HEV mode right now, which is hybrid electric vehicle. I'm gonna hop on, and you hear that blinker noise? Kia has the best blinker noise. It's awesome. Now, I'm also gonna flip it over to sport. Step on that throttle, and it hawks into that, and then it jerks you into the next gear, jerks you into the next gear, 260 horsepower to the pavement. We're at highway speeds just like that, but it's just a weird way to get there. I don't know that I like it. I go back to smart and eco mode usually for my driving. Sport mode doesn't really get you any much more power than you would normally have. So that's my main gripe with this, is just the unrefined 6-speed transmission made it to the hybrid, made it to the electric motor and all that. Number 2 on my bad list is the rear space in the back, the third row and beyond. I know you're not going to get a ton of room out of that because it's not a gigantic vehicle by any means. So I know you're gonna have a little bit of a tighter area behind the back seats. And I like that it has a good amount of space, but I wish it just had a little bit more. I wish they would have pushed that bumper out another couple inches so that you could actually fit, you know, a sports bag or a good box or some luggage behind that third row. Because when you take people places, they're gonna have stuff for the most part, and especially if you're taking people to like sporting events or to picnics or to camping or somewhere like that, you're gonna need space in the back. And it's really difficult with these third row vehicles to have a lot of space back there. But there has to be something on the bad list, right? So it's the unrefined transmission with the hybrid and the space behind the third row. But otherwise, this thing rides pretty nice. Let's wrap this thing up in a bow and send you on your way. Car Dad Bill rating on this one is a thumbs up. And it's a thumbs up because it's a great family vehicle that gets you into the market of electric vehicles and how they respond. You get used to charging them at night at your house. You have a charger at your house, most likely, and you get to feel that electric range feeling that you get from having an electric vehicle. So without having a full electric vehicle, with having a gasoline backup to kind of help you through the process, this is a good vehicle to have to kind of break you in to what to expect with an electric vehicle. And it's a passenger vehicle. It's good for families. It's the right size. It has a great driving seat position. You can see everything you need. It has cool cruise control features, just like in the other vehicles. So really, you're not compromising any of the normal Sorento features and things in the model to have the plug-in hybrid. You're just getting the plug-in added to the already good vehicle that it is. So thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Car Dad Bill this week. Real cars, real people for real life. Talk to you guys next time.